And back better and stronger. All right, let's make sure there's notification from Instagram.
Volume work.
I'm going to take a peek in 1 second. We're going to get this to go back. Hopefully, this can give us any agit over here. Okay, and we are back in business. We are live and we're back in business. Hey everybody, welcome to the Team Powerhouse Show, live with you every Tuesday night. And now we have a little bit of pause going on over there. What does it say?
Pause because
Ad
you
effects
weren't using the app.
What?
You weren't using the app.
What? How am I not using the app? Are you serious right now? I'm telling pause here, start of the video.
We're telling your followers that you've started the live video. That's
good to know. Hey, are we?
Which one is it?
Let me check it out. Let me go see. While everybody's waiting on the Facebook and everywhere else. Okay, there we are. Man, we having some technical difficulties today. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. It's David and Michael Christoforo. It's a very special real estate show. It is the Guaranteed Rate Affinity special. Michael Christoforo, David Lamel here. Thank you so much for joining us on the Team Powerhouse Show. Real estate related, all business today for you. You're not going to want to miss this show. If you're a buyer, if you are a seller, if you are an investor, if you would like to learn about some very special information about the mortgage world and how to take yourself and put yourself above everyone else in the buying place, this is your time to make sure you learn what's happening. Michael Christoforo, Guaranteed Rate, David Lamel, Team Powerhouse. Thank you so much for joining us today. I apologize for the screw up about 2 minutes ago. We need to make sure we have a good background on our social media platform over here and make sure that everybody on Instagram is watching. Aileen, thank you so much for being part of the show on Instagram over there as well. So this is a Guaranteed Rate special with the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Christoforo. Is super knowledgeable. So if you have questions at all, do not hesitate to ask because we're going to talk about renovation financing. You may have never heard this before. What does it mean? How does it work? What does it mean for you as a buyer? What does it mean to you as a homeowner? What does it mean to you in this time of the market where you see homes that have been sitting in the market that need a complete changeover, an up facelift, a complete turnaround, right? Yep. So you realtors out there who are watching and listening, you're going to learn a lot here today as well. So buyers, realtors, maybe other mortgage brokers who don't know about this program and why Guaranteed Rate Affinity is such an amazing place, not a place to work for, but more importantly, a place that has products that maybe other places don't have. So let's get into it, Michael. We're going to talk about renovation financing and what it is. All right. So, Michael, for those who don't know, can you share a background on the mortgage industry and your role at GRA Affinity?
Let's see. I've been in the business 34 years right now. It's right around 34, 35 years.
So he started with 12.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. So no, I've been in for a long time doing the mortgages. I remember doing mortgages so long ago. It was before they invented credit scores.
Wow.
And they said there's going to be a point in time that you're going to be able to approve a loan based on somebody's credit score. And here we are now. Credit scores have been around for decades.
I would never have known that such a thing existed, that you could buy a house without a credit score. I mean, what year did it change? If I'm putting you on the spot here, I mean, I came in 2005, right? That's 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you needed credit. Right. So you're talking, you've been in business over 30, 34, 35 years. Yep. So that's got to be not too far behind me, I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess it was probably around, I can remember where I was in Brantford at a sales meeting. So I'm going to guess it was probably about 30 years ago.
No kidding. That's unbelievable. Can you imagine not needing a credit score to buy a house? Well, more to come on the next show about what you do need to buy a house. But let's go into the renovation financing stuff. Renovation and financing basics. Can you explain what a renovation loan is and why a buyer might use it?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, the purpose of a renovation is that it allows you to add in the cost of the improvements on the house, and they take the purchase price plus the improvements, and you only need to put down 3.5% or 5% of that total transaction, and then we hold that money to be able to pay for those improvements as after you've closed.
That's mind blowing because again, these are things that even I'm 20 years in the business. And listening to something like this is mind blowing because I know that buyers today, when they look at a house, they want to find the polished, beautiful, updated, everything brand new. That's what everybody wants to buy. The gray walls, the white trim, the nice lighting, the nice landscape property. You know, they want to buy the house that has the wall already removed from the property, so it's nice and open space. And what you're saying to me is someone could buy grandma and grandpa's house that looks like a 1970s home inside and actually make it what they want.
Absolutely.
That's just like, I hope you guys are listening to what we're saying here. And I'm happy to see that the showings of people are the build up over here. Please get a hold of your friends and your family. Tell them to watch this show. They're not going to want to miss this. Your kids who are not watching, who want to buy a house, who are trying to find that polished, beautiful house, get them to watch this show because there's things out there called a renovation loan that allows them to do what they want to do to the house and make it their own.
And the best part is you have less competition. You're a realtor.
100%.
How much less, if you have a house that it's a 70s house, throughout that house,
yes,
how many less buyers do you have as a percentage on that versus a new one that's just been redone?
98% of buyers do not want to buy that house. 2% of buyers are willing to buy the house because that's all they can afford. But they don't know that they can make this house that really nice house that they want to have and then be proud of. I mean, when it comes to this whole process, there's a lot involved here. So who is the ideal buyer for Renovation Mortgage? I mean, is that a fair question?
I think it's very fair. It's anyone basically that can afford it. So let's say, for example, I pre-qualify a buyer and that buyer qualifies for $300,000. Well, if that's their maximum, great. That means you need to be buying a house under 300 because we have to put the renovations into that
to make it the max of $300,000.
Exactly. So, and it might even be a little bit less because the interest rates are a little bit higher on these programs.
In there.
So you definitely want a cushion, but let's just keep it simple. You know, if you're looking at a house now that's $225,000 that you can buy it for,
which doesn't really exist, and if it does, it usually needs a lot of work to
which is what we're talking about.
And it doesn't have to qualify for FHA when you're looking at the house because it's a mess inside.
Yep.
So what's going to happen, you're saying, is you're going to take that house and you're going to become an FHA clean buyer because that house is going to be spotless, whistle, beautiful, perfect, handrails, and no peeling paint and everything it needs to have.
Yep. And I can just spend a moment on this because I know it's in our show notes anyway. But
yes,
if it's an FHA loan, you have to have a fee inspector. Typically, not always. It depends on the scope of the work that needs to be done.
What is a fee inspector?
Fee inspector is a gentleman or a woman that goes out to the property, reviews the house, and sees what they need to do in order to make that house compliant to FHA standards. So, there's no hand railings going to the basement. We need those. Price. They put the price on that. Oh, you have no GFIs in the bathroom or the kitchen. Boom. Price on that. They add up all these prices for all these things, and they come up with a value.
And I'm thinking about Aileen, who's watching us on Instagram right now, who's very involved with her office and her team. Thank you, Kariotic Kicks, for jumping on over here also on the show. Aileen knows what this is all about. She's very involved in her team and her agents and making sure that they're all working and learning this program.
She was a lender as well. So
she's a knowledgeable woman.
She sure is.
But you know what is important is to keeping these people who are watching this show to make sure they share this information with other people. So let's get into a little bit more depth of the renovation financing because there's so much stuff here that I'm learning about that we need to share with the world who's out there. And this is something that it's not just in Connecticut, right? This is a program only in Connecticut, or is it throughout the country?
No. This is a nationwide program.
So this is a program that's nationwide. So if you're out there in another state, another part of the country, we have a lot of people throughout the country who watch our program. You want to learn about the renovation program. And Guaranteed Rate's a great company. It's a national company, a company that is going to be well experienced in this product, in this process. More importantly, you're going to be able to find a nice Guaranteed Rate company out wherever you are. Michael Christoforo is the best guy here in Connecticut. We'll just say it like that.
Thank you,
personally. But let's get more into it over here. All right. So how does renovation financing help buyers to compete in today's market? And we just kind of talked about that. I kind of prepped myself some questions here. So how does it make you as a competitive buyer? Well, here's how simple it is. Number one, you're buying and probably looking at a house that less people are wanting to buy. Number one. Number two, you're probably not going to give the seller a hard time about the condition of their home because you're renovating it. So you can say, I'm buying the house as is, no problem. Do you really need to do an inspection on the house? I don't know if you have to do an inspection, it's a visual one, right? Because I hand rail, peeling paint, that if a house has GFIs or not, you can see those things, right? So in making the offer on your house, you're going to go through the process of the almost rehabbing a house. You basically become your own flipper. How about that? We should call this actually Flipper Nation with GRA, how to do renovation financing. I love it.
I like it, Dave.
It's good stuff.
Dave spin.
I'm going to spin it around. Bridget, thank you so much for joining us over there on Instagram as well. Guys, if you've got questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and give them out on Instagram, on Facebook, on Restream, YouTube. We're building over here. The amount of people is just flowing in, which I love it. By the way, Carryout Kicks was on a couple weeks ago. He had over 2,000 views on that show.
Sneakers.
He's unbelievable. This young man is if I'm going to just sidebar, amazing guy. All right.
Good stuff.
All right. So let's go back to you for a second, please, and continue. Types of renovation financing options for each. What is it? Who qualifies? How does it work step by step? And what are the pros and cons? So let's go into what is it? It's obviously a renovation to renovate a house. Who qualifies? Is there special kind of credit scores you need to have for this kind of program?
It depends on which program you have. We have conventional versions. They have VA versions. They have FHA versions. The FHA is going to be the most lenient. They'll let you go down to a 580 on a credit score.
580 credit score. So basically, you've been bad. You've got slapped in the head a couple of times. You forgot to pay some bills. Your debt's a little higher, and you have already accessed enough money from mom and dad to not be able to ask them for more money. And that's where Michael comes in.
Well, they are going to need 3.5% down payment on an FHA loan.
3.5% is nothing
and
today.
That's on the purchase price plus the improvements.
Right.
So back to our original scenario, like we were talking. So if it's 225 and you take it up to 300, you're going to need
10 grand.
11.5.
Okay. Good number for fast.
Oh, thanks.
That's really fast. But that's what he does, right? That's 10.5.
10.5. Yeah, you see that? You even got me.
All right. So what are some pros and cons about this program? Anything you can share about pros and cons?
It's all pros. You're getting a house exactly like you want, and you get to choose the contractor that you want versus buying a house. What if you're buying a flip and the flip wasn't done well?
That's a good point.
I see these nightmare shows on YouTube nowadays with these contractors going through. At least you can hire the contractor that's going to do the work properly.
By the way, Bridget's out there saying she loves how this direction the show is going. Thank you so much, Bridget. We love you. We appreciate you. Bridget is a superstar at the Miranda team.
Oh, nice.
She's a sweetheart. But you're right. So the pros are so most buyers today, first-time buyers, probably shopping anywhere in that $300,000 to $400,000 ballpark. And if you're able to buy higher, God bless you. You're a lucky person. But what I've noticed with buyers, and it's one of the biggest things, is as the price gets higher, people expect the house to be more done. That's not what happens. As the price gets higher, you can afford. You're getting a bigger home. It doesn't mean that it's bigger and done. It typically means it's bigger and maybe some things are done, but a lot of things aren't done.
Right. Again,
coming back to this whole renovation financing and having the ability to make that bigger house have more of what you want. It gives you, typically we tell buyers in the past, you're buying a house today and every year you plan to do a project, right? Now you can actually do probably a majority of the projects up front. And maybe based on how much you can afford, maybe you leave a couple of the little projects, other projects you do plan to do a year or two later down the road. So that's huge.
And the other thing too is that, the rate is higher on these programs. Rates could be higher. There could be some points affiliated with it.
Okay.
So you need to know that.
Yes.
But understand that you're finding the house that you love. You buy the house you love, and you refinance it. And 6 months, 9 months later, you start a refinance and you refinance it. We're not requiring you to stick with the interest rate that we're going to give you. The interest rate that we're going to give you is probably going to be 0.75% higher than where you would normally be.
Okay, 0.75% is not much.
Yeah.
And hold on a second. People get stuck. They say date the rate, buy the home.
Yeah.
And the reason why we say date the rate is because that rate is just a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Like, again, these rates we know are coming down. We know it's happening. It's just a matter of time when it happens. And when the rate comes down, here's what's going to happen. The prices are going to go up. More buyer competition. Plain girl, please. I mean, thank you so much. Is it plain? I can't see that.
Plain Girlville.
Plain Girlville. Thank you much for joining us on Instagram as well. You have a chance to buy that house that needs those updates and have them done. I see over there,
the best part is though, Dave, I'm sorry, when you do that, you're getting instant equity, because most of these houses, when you do that kind of work, the value is going to be there, where you're buying, instead of buying a house at top dollar in a competitive market.
Yes.
And you're going to pay top dollar, you're not going to have any or very little equity.
Sarah Santos knows that a co-banker does renovation financing, probably about when she does all this work with her clients and projects and homes. Another great girl realtor out there. You're right. It's one of these things that when it comes to the projects, getting things done in advance, buying the house, that's the ugly duckling. Buy the ugly house and make it your own, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds not nice to say it like that, but you literally can go out and go, okay, this is the ugly house, and no one's really shopping for it. Maybe you get a better deal on the house because no one else is shopping for it as well.
Yeah.
Have the ability to do the renovation loan as well on the property. The FHA 203K loan covers purchase and renovation costs in the loan in one. Is that right?
Correct. Yep, that's what we were talking about.
Great for buyers with low down payments. How does the limited versus standard 203K differ?
Great question. So a limited is anything up to $75,000 worth of work plus the actual cost. So typically, if it says 75, I usually try to keep $10,000 just in extra liquidity to keep there.
Yeah.
So you spend $65,000 worth of improvements, as long as there's nothing that's related to a structural work that needs to be done on the house. So as long as there's nothing structural, and it's under let's just say $65,000 worth of work, you can basically do it all and roll it in, and you don't need to even have a fee inspector, which is someone that comes out to the house and reviews the cost. You can actually give either one licensed contractor that can actually come through there and do all the work. I need this much electrical, this much plumbing, this much drywall, and you can do it all with one gentleman, or you can actually get up to 3 quotes. And those 3 quotes with those 3 contractors, like you might say a roofer, a painter, and carpets. Boom, there's 3. You can do 3 like that, and those are the 3 things that you'll have done on the house, and you'd be done.
So what you're saying to me is you can have multiple contractors to do one project?
Up to 3 for this limited.
Now, most of the time, in my experience, you got one guy who's your what they call a GC, or the guy that kind of runs the show, and he's got all the contractors working for him. Personally, I like that kind of thing to have one person to go to. Sometimes I find that when you do work in a house, that you have too many chefs in the kitchen. Someone's finger pointing about, well, they're doing their job and we're doing our job. We can't. So that's but it's good to know you can have up to 3 contractors, maybe 3 different contractors at 3 different times doing work in the house.
Well, in my scenario,
yes.
If you noticed, it was a roofer,
yes,
a carpet,
right,
and appliances,
right,
or whatever, or an electrical. So you can have things like that, like, oh, I love the house, I just hate the appliances, and I hate the carpet that's in the bedrooms. Well, that's just something simple. That would be a perfect limited.
So you mentioned appliances. So let's talk about that for a second. So on the appliance end, so someone wants to go to their favorite retail establishment that carries appliances.
Mm-hmm.
If they go there, how does it work? So they go there, they picked out what they want, and then they let you guys know what it is and what the cost is, and then
they give it to me.
Yes.
And I put it into the sheet along with any other contractor quotes. I put in those 3.
Yeah.
And then we do the calculations of what the purchase price is plus those acquisitions for those 3 items that they added. and then that's how we actually come up with the cost.
And that makes sense to me completely. But how does the purchase of the appliance, is that your favorite appliance store go? Like, you get the cash in your hand and you go buy it? Is it something we're guaranteed to rate, or the lender has to cut a specific check at closing for those appliances? Is that a fair question?
That's a very fair question. So what happens is on a limited is that there's two disbursements, always two disbursements. So they'll give 50% up front for whatever it is. And then after it's done, then they'll give the other 50% for the other portion.
So does the contractor have to go pick up the appliances, or you, as in me and my wife, can go get them?
No, I would think that you're probably, I mean, you're the contractor. I assume an appliance contractor is not going to be having you getting a pickup truck, I would think, to pick up.
So you tell the contractor, hey, listen, I want to buy these, add this to your thing here on your quote. This way you can get the appliances you want, and it's added into your purchase.
So yeah, and then so 50% will be given up front, but we will not disperse the other half until all those appliances are in place.
Got it.
So the new roof is on the house, until carpet's installed, whatever. So they're going to get 50% up front to get the work moving, and then the other 50% is given afterwards.
Fannie Mae Homestyle Renovation Loan allows financing of renovations for primary, second homes, and investment properties.
Single family. Make that very clear.
So
on the investment properties, they will allow.
If you're an investor, you can buy a single family home as an investor, second home. You can use it as a rental property.
Well, it's going to be probably, it's either or. It could be a flip theoretically on a single family.
So you as
but typically we want to keep that loan at least functioning for at least 6 months, typically.
That's actually pretty cool that you can actually do that, though. I think it's mind blowing. And if you're watching out there to understand what this renovation financing that's available through Guaranteed Rate, through Michael Christoforo, our rockstar mortgage broker, and if anybody doesn't know who he is, you got to get to know him. As a matter of fact, Michael, we don't have your phone number.
I didn't bring my wallet, Dave. So
let's do this for a second. Let's make sure we have your phone number. If you could please, out loud, say what it is.
203.
Wait 1 second. This is not a dating service. Michael is married. He's got a wonderful wife. So this is not a dating service. Michael, please your cell phone, please.
203-314-7352.
203-314-7352. All right. So write that number down. No, you can call him. You can text him. You can even email him at michael.christoforo@gra.com. grarate.com. I almost got that without even knowing off the top of my head. All right. So, all right. Very cool stuff. Fannie Mae Homestyle Renovation allows financing of renovations. Again, we said for primary, second, and investment homes, single family homes. How flexible are the renovation types allowed? How flexible are the renovation types allowed? Is that a silly question? I wrote it down. I prepped it.
Here's the thing, and I think this is important to know. The house has to be able to appraise out for the work that you're going to do.
We would think that it's going to appraise out because you're getting all this beautiful work done to the house, and your realtor, I hope, like a Sarah Santos, who's brilliant, right? Like, your realtors are out there who are rock star realtors, have been in the business. You want to make sure you work with somebody who's knowledgeable, experienced. The more experience they have, the more they've got to gauge on the value. They're pulling up comps because they want to look at houses with you that have been done already or that have sold and what they look like. So it's important to make sure that you're out there with a good realtor. Love to be one of those guys you work with at Team Powerhouse or the rest of our team who are great people as well. But again, you want to make sure you've got a great realtor who's experienced and knows what they're talking about. So therefore, they can make sure the value is there and what you want to do to the house.
I mean, but also just for the record,
yes,
when we do an appraisal, it's going to be based on all those improvements to the house. So like, you bought a 3-bedroom house and you were turning it into a 4-bedroom, or you were finishing a basement, or you were putting on a new roof, and all those improvements are going to add to the value of the house. So we are appraising it based on that list of items and things that have to be done. If it's, everybody, we all know here, certain improvements are going to have more value 100%, than others.
Absolutely. Like, just because you made pretty flowers in the front yard doesn't make it more valuable.
Right.
Or mulch and all those pretty things. It doesn't give value to a house. It may give it its curb appeal. How about like, someone wants to put a driveway in? The driveway is expensive. I mean, maybe they can use that as part of the renovation, but I'm not sure how much value it's going to bring to your house.
Right.
That's why you have to
Right.
be careful with what you're choosing. Things like we know, roof, mechanicals, kitchens, bathrooms, flooring,
Yep.
finished basement, like you mentioned before, was super important for improvement in value. So you mentioned the appraisal. So is the appraisal done before the work is done?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the appraiser does it based on the work write-up that's being done or those quotes that I provide, that the client provides to me. So the appraiser is determining the value based on all that work that's being done. That's how the value is coming in when it's not there originally.
That absolutely streamlines this whole process because it happens much faster. I'm not sure where I put this question in.
And just for the record, the appraiser is going to go back for each of those disbursements. If it's a big project,
Yes,
you might have 5 disbursements on that to give for the house. It might be 20% each time
does
for
the
5 times.
appraiser get a VIG every time it comes
Oh
out?
yeah, no, it costs money every
Yeah.
time. These are all part of the costs that need to be built into.
So we don't want them
built
out
into
there.
the law.
We don't want them out there 10 times. We went out there a couple of times.
No, I mean, typically there's a schedule. It depends on how big the work is.
Right.
But typically, it could be anywhere from those 2 disbursements on the limited
Yes.
to typically we see like maybe 5.
5.
5 is
So
pretty
you and
much.
that appraiser are going to get really chummy, like, you're going to get friendly and schmoozy and maybe have some coffee together. All right, let's talk about the Freddie Mac Choice Renovation Loan. Covers a wide range of renovation types, including repairs from natural disasters. That didn't know about that at all. Can you help me about that? Can this be used for both small updates and major overhauls? I mean, like a natural disaster. We don't like talking about natural disasters in real estate. That just scares us. I mean, that
No.
just, not a good place you want to be.
Well, the last 2 that you've talked about, the home style and the choice, those are both conventional loans. So
Okay.
typically those are a 5% down deal.
I would
rather
think
than
that
the
most
FHA.
people can get 5% down today. Most people, if you're putting down 3.5, you probably can figure a way to pony up another 1.5%, and that's where you're really going to go and kind of do a little extra begging and pleading with somebody if you have
Well,
to.
I mean, it
Or
really.
use a 401k, the extra little piece of.
But I mean, like the FHA 203k. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the 203k. You know what I really love about the 203k?
Tell us, Mike.
First of all, it's only 3.5% down. But this is the thing: a lot of people don't know. They give a 10% cushion into that product. So if it doesn't appraise out,
Yes.
you got a 10% cushion on the FHA that you don't have on the conventionals. So literally, you can overdevelop over that appraised value and still make that deal close on the FHA that you couldn't do on the conventionals.
All these people on YouTube are watching now, probably blowing their minds right now because they're not normally seeing these kind of things, talking about these kind of things, and getting to, well, people know you now pretty well. We're together quite a bit, and we enjoy talking, educating people on information, and we love that opportunity. This right now with what you're saying, especially like natural disasters, which is something that I kind of want to get into. I want to be careful how I prance around it. So what if you own a house and God forbid there's a natural disaster? Is there somehow some way to jump into calling you up about this natural disaster on a house and taking a loan with you to get work done? Is that crazy to just throw it out there?
I mean, it's a possibility. To be perfectly honest with you, I've never run into that situation. Okay. But I mean, typically the other thing is oftentimes if you have a natural disaster, you might have the FEMA giving people money at 1%. Because I've had friends that actually probably are watching this today that actually received some of that money on some of their FEMA disasters at 1% over 30 years or 3% or whatever. Very, very low. Don't know if it's going to make them 100% whole or not, but this, would be something that would be potentially able to fill in if FEMA wasn't stepping up to the plate.
Completely. I like it. This is just, again, the fact that.
But back to the FHA for a second.
Yes.
You quickly got off of it. I just really quick. I just want to say,
yes,
you can literally have an FHA loan. It doesn't appraise out.
Oh.
You can actually change that loan over to a renovation put $5,000 in carpeting in, or $5,000 worth of new appliances, and now the appraisal will not be an issue because we now have a 10%. It can be over by 10%.
So
see what I'm saying? So there's some loopholes here that I'm just trying to get people to understand.
So what you're saying is you could be going with an FHA 3.5% down regular mortgage on a house, not even thinking about the renovation loan. There's a problem with the appraisal. And then you're saying to me that someone can flip flop, go to an FHA 203K loan,
correct,
do a little pizzazz to the house to give it a little more sparkle, making it prettier, making it better, making it nicer.
Yeah, and it's
eliminating the problem.
It's only, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either $3,000 or $5,000 is the minimum on the limited. That's all you need to put in. So it's not huge. So you can literally add something, and even though that appraisal was an issue, it's not an issue in that scenario. And that's only on a renovation. They won't do that on a regular FHA. Normally the house has to appraise out to be able to make the deal work. But this gives us a little bit of a cushion, just
a little cushion for the pushing, because you're going to need a little pushing and a little bit more cushion, especially when you're going through the mortgage process and buying a house. VA renovation loan. Now, this is an important one to me because I love our veterans. I think the salt of the earth, the people who represent our country. You've served, you're in the middle of serving, you've done a service, and you deserve to get something back. And the VA loan is my favorite. I love to know when a buyer's a VA buyer. It's personal. It's almost like you want them to be the first person to get their offer accepted because they're a VA buyer. And I'm not saying we do that necessarily, but I want you to know that if you're a VA out there who needs or wants to buy a house, in my opinion, you're number one before every other kind of loan because of what you've done for this country. And the fact you can buy a house with no money down is a blessing to you and deserving, in my opinion, to the VA buyers out there. Amen. So let's talk about the VA renovation loans. Now, this is something probably most VA people haven't heard about, and they should really be talking about this to people who have served our country about a VA renovation loan, because again, you're buying a house in a VA. Typically, VA is the strictest, most challenging in buying a house, with handrails and peeling paint and every little thing. It's got to have, again, typically FHA, but a little extra zinger to it. The 5 years of roof life or more versus less. And again, I've got a client that I'm working with, as you know, who's a VA buyer. And it's funny because they tiptoe on that subject of renovation, but they always keep looking for that shiny pearl. And I think that after what we went through this past weekend, it might be something where they have to really focus on this, because finding that house that is needing that extra work and getting to make it what you want, it just makes more sense, because you're competing against on a regular offer on homes, and everybody goes, oh, they're conventional, they're putting out 20%, they're a stronger buyer. That's not the case. It's not the case. So if you're out there as as an agent, and you see a buyer come in with a VA loan, you should be like, wow, this is an important person here that's making an offer right now. Yes, they're not putting money down, or they don't have to put it down, or putting it down just for showmanship. But that buyer there now can also do the renovation financing loan, and that's massive. Yep. And the fact that your company can do that out there is amazing. Yep. It's a beautiful thing. It combines VA benefits and with renovation financing. How does a VA renovation differ from the standard VA loan?
Same thing.
Gets to add the renovations in.
It's just adding the renovations in. Correct.
All right. Other options: a HELOC or home equity loan for renovations. If buying with cash or refinancing later, can you kind of give me a little bit on that?
Basically, we do have a home equity product, that guaranteed rate Affinity, that actually will, once again, this is where you can't just go anywhere and do a home equity, because they're going to do an appraisal based on what the house looks like now. However, we do have a home equity company that will actually do it based on the improved value to what's being done.
And that kind of touches a little bit on that natural disaster situation kind of thing, right? Is that okay to bring that up?
Well, I mean, that's what we do on every renovation loan. We're doing it based on post work being done.
So the fact that you can do a HELOC or an equity loan for renovations with your company just add another layer of strength of what you guys are doing at GRA and what you do at GRA and your company does at GRA. I hope GRA is watching out there, and if they're not, they should definitely be watching and listening, because maybe some of the guys out there on the GRA team may not even know all the pieces of the puzzle. Listen, I say that loosely because we as realtors, we're learning every day, and sometimes we find out that our company has things that or I'll give you an example. Our company has a product called the Coldwell Banker Real Vitalized Program, and I use that program a lot, and it shocks me all the time that how few Coldwell Banker realtors even know about this product or talk about it. So I use that analogy with people who are guaranteed rate. Do they really know the depth of what your company offers and has value to their clients? And you being an expert in the renovation financing is making a huge opportunity for buyers.
Where's your revitalized tattoo? Because I know you're a big proponent of it. I know you use it all the time.
I should get a tattoo for that, but I don't have the tattoo. But I just, again, it's all about the buyers out there who are shopping, that want to have that silver nickel. Is the right term? Silver nickel or shiny penny, or just a pretty home that's been updated. And you can do all this with the guaranteed rate renovation financing loan. And it comes in all different styles and packages. Again, based on the amount you're borrowing, the kind of loan you're getting, whether it's an FHA 203K or conventional or a VA. I mean, it's pretty deep. Yeah. And of course, now we have just added the HELOC home equity loan for renovations also. Whew.
And real quick,
this is a lot.
And real quick, I don't know how much more time we have. I just real quick want to just mention where the loan limits are for the conventional for the FHA. And this is for New Haven. You can, if you're out of state and you want to check it, it's very simple. Just ask Grok, what
just
the
ask
FHA
Grok.
limits. Yeah, just ask Grok.
Not Gronk from the pets, but Grok.
Yeah.
Or ChatGPT or someone like that.
So, so you can do these FHA 203Ks up to 4 families as long as it's owner occupied.
Really?
You can do a 4 family.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So I had no idea that you can do it on a 4 family.
1, 2, 3, or 4.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How's that song go?
I don't know. Don't make me sing.
All
Don't make me sing in a podcast.
All right.
But on a single family, you're looking at $524,000 on the FHA.
Can you do that a little slower because that was kind of fast?
Sure.
In New Haven County, you can go up to $524,225 on a FHA.
Single family. On a 2-unit, that would be $671,200. On a 3-unit, $811,275. On a 4-unit, $958,350. Holy shnikes! So I'm hoping that 4 units are not $1 million, because that's just mind blowing. It's possible. I mean, especially if you're like down in New Haven by Yale, by Orange Street, or the what do they call it, East Rock. I mean, things get kind of spicy down there. They get pricey. But that's But I mean, if you could pick up something like that, for it needs a lot of work or something, a 4 family, that's for 500, and you could put a couple hundred into it.
Well, listen, and
you can make it work.
And the reality is that we're talking about these multifamily homes. Is these homes are built in the 1700s, 1800s, maybe you see early 1900s. By the way, this is important to know. If you're buying a multifamily that says 1900, they really don't know when that house is built. They just put 1900 on there. It could have been 1800. Just food for thought. So when you're looking at these houses, how much has the person who's owned this other investor or an investor of some sort that is either self-occupied or never occupied, is the roof a mess? And a multifamily, a roof is much more expensive than a single family. You're talking about multiple heating systems, and you can add a cooling system. How great would that be? Owning a multifamily with a cooling system, you might be the hottest multi around, or the coolest multifamily around. Updating your kitchens, updating bathrooms. Imagine buying a multifamily home as an investor, getting to this renovation financing loan. Now you have the quintessential home on the market for rent. You're going to get...
Yeah, you only have to live there for 1 year.
I mean,
so literally you live in 1 unit, rent the other 3 out.
You're going to be the most attractive multifamily on the block, in the town, in the city, maybe even the state. That's kind of crazy. All right, Fairfield County. Wow. On a single family.
These are okay. Yes. Yep.
Is that FHA? Is that
that is still FHA. Yep.
Okay. Correct. Check this out, Fairfield County, because we know that you're a little more spicy, a little more expensive. So we got to plan.
No, I lied to you. That is conventional.
All right. But
That's
anyway, going
conventional.
back into, well, most people in Fairfield County are in that
Yeah.
arena. But so Fairfield County, because you're a little bit more pricey, right? We do a lot of work in Fairfield County.
Yeah.
We need to make sure our loan limits are much higher, right? So let's make sure we have those numbers for you. So in a single family home, up to $851,000, which is probably the average price on Fairfield County in a nice size home. But knowing that you can do this renovation financing on that house, because here's the biggest problem we find today. And I don't care if you're in Fairfield County, New Haven County, the Shoreline, you get into these houses that are these big mansions or these big homes, and they're the ones that need the most amount of work. They're stuck in the 70s or 80s, right? Tell me I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying out there. You've been in these houses. You walk into a house, and it's like green carpet shag.
Right.
It's got the 1980s cabinetry, and they're asking almost $1 million for this property, or 700, whatever that number is. And you're like, okay, so I need to renovate this house. It's going to cost me $200,000. Most buyers don't have an extra $200,000 just popping in their pocket, right? So they can come to you and do this renovation financing.
The biggest problem that Fairfield County has
Yes.
is there's no jumbo renovation products. There used to be. They dropped those, I think, a couple of years ago. So we don't have any
They
renovation
probably
jumbo.
dropped it because no one was using it. That's probably why.
Well, no, there's a lot of demand. I have a lot of people that ask about it, but
Well, then
these caps.
I'm putting this on you, Guaranteed Rate Affinity, if you're listening out there. Let's change it and let's see what you can do to make it happen. I'm putting it out there. Boom. All right.
Okay.
On a 2-unit, $1,089,450. On a 3-unit,
$1,316,900.
$1 million. No, I love it. $1,316,000 on a 3-family for 1-3. I mean, we're talking about some serious numbers here. You can go up to $1,300,000 on a 3-unit. I hope you don't have to. And on a 4-unit, you can go up to $1,636,550. Hopefully, you're buying these properties in Fairfield County, and they're not costing you $1.6 million. But know that you can. How about that? That's pretty special. That's pretty special, Mike.
With improvements.
With improvements. Let's see if I already talked about this over here. So some common misconceptions. What do buyers often misunderstand about renovation loans? They don't know they can have.
They don't know about it.
Right, they don't know about it. You probably don't know that you can have this opportunity. It's probably something that is.
I'm going to give you one thing that's the most important thing that I notice after doing this for years is that you need a good contractor.
Bingo,
and on an FHA, nobody can be related to anybody. Conventional, we can do it. If dad's a contractor, we can get dad to be the contractor. But on an FHA loan, the realtor can't be related to the contractor. Contractor can't be related to the buyer. Nobody can be related to anybody on the FHA, just so you're aware.
So what you're saying is Uncle Vinny can't be the guy.
No.
What if Uncle Vinny has a different last name?
I'm not going to say anything on
that. Maybe he's a Costanza versus he's a, yada, yada. All right. Yeah. So no same last name.
Dave's always trying to get me arrested.
I'm just
trying to get me arrested.
So just for the record, you can't have the same last name as a contractor as a person buying the house, right?
Definitely.
So no relationships, guys. No relationships. Are these loans harder or slower to close than traditional mortgages?
Yeah, they do take a little bit more time because you need to get all the contractor quotes. Then the contractor has to get approved. We approve the contractors just for you, for the buyer, so that we want to make sure that a good contractor is coming in there that's not going to.
We don't want to hack. We need somebody who's licensed and with a reputation, and that's going to do right by you, because that's what you want. You don't want somebody that's my friend from down the street. Got a friend that might be insured, that might not be insured. There might be. It
doesn't even have to be a financial issue. It could be a health issue. I mean, you could be hiring a contractor that could have had a bad background check, that they were in prison for 5 years for sexual assault. I mean, so these are things that we look at.
Why you got to go there?
No, these are the things that we look at to make sure that your client is getting a good quality contractor. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
It's
important.
It's got to be kosher.
It's got to
be making sense.
It's got to make sense for everybody.
No hokey pokey going on over here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We're having some fun, aren't we?
Yes. It's a good podcast. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Advice for buyers and agents. What's the number one tip you have for a buyer considering renovation financing? Number one tip.
Get a good contractor.
Work with Team Powerhouse and you'll have an amazing experience. No, honestly, make sure you have a good realtor. I'm going to say first. A knowledgeable realtor who's going to make sure that they have a good arsenal of people that's going to get you connected to the right contractors that they know and trust if you don't have somebody you know and trust. Usually a good realtor with experience is going to know good contractors because they've worked with them before. We as realtors are a source of information. If you've been in the business for so many years, you're probably working with contractors involved in the business that are reputable, and it's going to be helpful for you in getting this process started, and it's going to make it easier for you to get this completed.
Yeah.
How can real estate agents better educate their clients about these options? Well, here we are together listening and learning together. So that's number one, right? How do we better educate our clients? Because the more we know as realtors, the better you're going to be and have better experience. And making sure you're working with the best mortgage brokers in the business who are going to help you get you what you want, such as a renovation financing at guaranteed rate with Michael Christoforo, if I didn't put it out there already. Any success stories you can share that really have shown the benefit? I know you've done this a lot.
The best ones are usually the ones where I'm thinking of two right now where a contractor was a referral from the realtor, went very well. They were limited 203Ks. They went beautiful. Had another one where the client went rogue, used his own contractors. We went through one contractor quote. That contractor disappeared, went to another contractor. That contractor disappeared. And then the seller said, I'm not wasting my time.
You just touched on something to close on this whole conversation, right? You're making an offer on a house. There's a seller involved. There's an agent for the seller involved. They want things to run smoothly, right? Fast and smooth for you and for them, because it's all about beginning to end. There's a timeline here. You as the buyer want to get in, go on a contract, and close. The seller wants you to get in, go on a contract, and close. Everybody wants to get paid, God forbid. And number two, you want peace of mind. So we're not looking to make this a 6-month project, right? This is something that should be about 30 to 45 days in and out, boom, 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 closing your project.
Depending on the size of the project.
Well, yeah, but
yes.
The work does the job have to be done to close in the home?
No.
Exactly my point. So just for the record, if you're going to buy a house, the project is completed after you close in the house. So getting the contractors in, getting pricing, this shouldn't take very long. A week? 2 weeks?
I agree. I want to stand corrected. I was thinking you were saying the construction work will happen in 45 to 60 days.
The construction work, let's just say, depending who you're working with, and we have great people, depending how much of a construction job you're doing, right? Do they have to get permits for certain items in what town you live in?
Of course.
Like there's some towns that getting a permit is like you might as well
No, you need permits for all of them.
No, of course, but there's some towns in the state of Connecticut, okay, that going to get a permit, you'll bleed from your eyes before you get a permit. So just know that you should know what the permit process is like in each town. And a good contractor is going to be able to tell you, hey, great town, good people. They know me inside there because they're a good contractor. They've got reputation. They're working with people all the time. That's everything. Okay? Michael Christoforo, Guaranteed Rate Affinity. David Lamel, Team Powerhouse Gold Banker. Thank you so much, everybody out there listening and watching this show. Please share it with your friends and family. We hope you've learned. We hope you appreciate. And we would love to work for you.
Sounds great.
Have a great night, everybody. And we will see you next Tuesday with another special guest. Hopefully, Michael wants to come back after the show here again. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you again very much.
Bye.